Ethereum, ETH, co-founder Vitalik Buterin has touched on some of the contradictions in his thoughts and values that he hasn't resolved yet. In the first place, the Ethereum mastermind acknowledged that he wants a more Bitcoin, BTC like Ethereum with a focus on long-term stability. However, he said achieving that requires a lot of short-term change. Contradiction between my desire to see Ethereum become a more Bitcoin-like system emphasizing long-term stability and stability, including culturally, and my realization that getting there requires quite a lot of active coordinate. Meanwhile, a popular Ethereum analyst, known on Twitter as Yacht, replied that to attain long-term stability, short-term change is necessary. Unlike Bitcoin, whose premature ossification means there will always be fundamental flaws, and it will be much harder to resolve later than sooner. So, build a robust system first, ossify second, Yacht said. Nearly 7 years ago, Buterin created Ethereum as a way to leverage the blockchain technology for all sorts of use cases, contrary to Bitcoin, which was meant to utilize the technology to act as a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash. However, throughout the years, he has seemingly dug a. And now, after this recent Twitter thread on contradictions, some crypto industry observers were wondering whether Buterin was really joking when he published the blog post in defense of Bitcoin maximalism on April 1st. In the article, he was praising the Bitcoin community's commitment to caution and their willingness to defend the flagship cryptocurrency even with ferocity. On the other hand, in the same article, Buterin noted that Ethereum's feature richness makes it vulnerable to risks. Eventually, one complex feature could threaten or undermine the decentralization of Ethereum and make it vulnerable to hostile attack, he argued. Systemic effects are real, Buterin wrote, and it's just not possible for a currency to enable an ecosystem of highly complex and risky decentralized. Bitcoin makes the safe choice. Meanwhile, in his Twitter thread today, Buterin continued that there are also contradictions between his preference for reducing reliance on individuals and his appreciation of live players. He also admitted that he is fond of decentralization and democracy, but crypto countries, and my realization that the governments most likely to go all the way on such things are more likely to be centralized and not friendly to diversity internally, Buterin said.